Okay, we're back. We're back. And we're going to pick up and explain protocol mode now. So this is where we left off in video number 2. We're picking back up. And you'll notice right away that I have a starting protocol group number of 1, and I have a stopping equal a 9. What that means is that it's going to go to group 1 in the memory, take that frequency and duty cycles that's set there, and for both channels, it's going to fire them up, run them for a determined amount of time, and then it is going to automatically step to memory position or frequency group number 2. And it'll do the same thing, run it for a defined number of times, minutes, seconds, whatever you dial in on setup page 5. And it's going to continue that process all the way up to the stopping frequency of 9. But it's not going to stop at 9 if you told it, I want you to run this for hours, which you can do. It will recycle and start over again, repeating the whole sequence over again. But if you set the time and you said, well, I'll just make it easy. I'm running 9 frequencies. I'm running them a minute apiece. Oh, let's make it what Spooky does. I'm running them at 3 minutes apiece, 180 seconds, times 9. That sounds like 27. So if I set my total program time for 27 minutes, I'll run the whole protocol one time. Boom. But if I want to run that protocol for twice that, I can run it for 54 minutes, and it'll run the protocol twice. So there's not a number saying I want you to run twice, 3 times, 4 times, but there's a time setting that you can simply set to run the protocol as many times as you want. I'm not sure that that's easier or harder than what the Spooky does. I'll relate to that because there's a lot of programming features in that. But it is a way that I do it. It's simple to implement, and it's simple to remember too. So I didn't want to make this so complicated that people couldn't use it. And I was hopeful that this is just a one-man concept. I might make software changes, and I'll talk about that later also, that will allow many, many improvements. I have a future idea of replacing the Arduino and doing things that are just beyond the scope of this presentation, but are wonderful things to have available. Okay, let's continue. I think actually that defines protocol mode pretty thoroughly. But while I'm here, I want to show you something. I'm going to go back into, I'm already under the settings. I'm going to dial in 4. You notice under 4, it's nothing happened up. It just says setup equals 4. And what that means is that I have the protocol, the mode that I want to run, not set for sweeping. When I go to the third mode that I can set, back up all the way back up here, I'm back up into 2. I can set simple, protocol, or sweep. There's another screen dedicated for protocol and a different screen dedicated for sweep. We're in protocol mode right now, mode 2. So when I step forward, I get a screen for protocol mode. I do not get a screen if I go to 4 for sweep mode because I'm not in sweep mode. But since we're going to be going to sweep mode, I'm going to step back to setup equals 2, press the button, switch the mode to number 3, go back to setup equals 2, and dial forward to number 3. Ooh, look at that. The setup equals 3 gives you a blank screen because it says you're not in protocol mode, so I'm not going to give you a screen to make any adjustments. I went to screen 4, you're in setup mode. Pretty cool. Something I neglected because I'm doing this on the fly, trying to follow my outline and trying to be smooth in how I proceed here, but I forgot to show you something. But I can show you right now in the sweep function, because the protocol and the sweep function have an identical situation where they have a starting frequency and a starting frequency group and a stopping frequency group. And in sweeping mode, let's go to 4. It's got a starting frequency group of number 4, and it's got a stopping frequency group of number 5. And I could have easily have made that a starting frequency group of 2 and a stopping frequency group of 20. And it's not, because it's in sweep mode, it's only going to look at those two groups. In this case, it's only going to look at sweep 4, frequency group 4 and 5. But if I want to have it look at a different group, I can just press the cursor, and you'll notice that now I'm stepping underneath each and every place. If I can just press the button, 4, I'm under 5, I'm back to setup, I'm back to 4, 5, and I can dial in anything I want. I can dial in 7, 1, whatever I want. 9. I'll just leave that here for this example. So what's going to happen in sweep mode, it's going to go to frequency group that's in memory position 9 and get the information. And then it's going to go to frequency group 5, the stopping frequency, and get the information. And then it's going to say he wants to sweep between the two frequencies, the two F1 frequencies, not the F2. F2 is gating. It's only going to sweep between the two F1 frequencies. And it will calculate automatically how many divisions or how many frequencies between the two boundaries that you've set that it has to calculate for. And it will figure everything out for you based on the setup timing screen, which we haven't gotten to yet. Okay, that's in the write-up. It's only a 5-page write-up, and they're large print. I think I used number 11 font. There's a lot of spacing in there. It's pretty simple. Not a lot of reading. You don't have to read a book, but it should be good support to back up these videos. So I'm going to go back to the setup screen. I'm on setup number 4. I'm going to back to number back to number 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to look at frequency number 4. It happens to already be there. It says frequency read 4. It says it's going to take 34922, and I went to frequency 9, I think, was my last example. Oops, no, it actually started at frequency 9. I'm going to go look at frequency 9. I already know it's at frequency 9. Frequency 9 is the same frequency. I want to have a number that's different. So I'm going to step into and change that to a 10. Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to step back to 0, and I'm going to step forward and see what frequency 10 is. I'm in the setup equals 0, and I'm dialing to frequency reads number 10. And frequency 10 for F1 is a frequency of 500 hertz. Can you see that on there? Yeah, a little blurry. I'm sorry for that. See if I can get any clearer. 500 hertz. Yeah, that's pretty clear. Now, it won't stay clear, but that's 500 hertz, frequency 1. And the other frequency I already know was frequency 34 kilohertz, 0.922. And what it will do when you're in sweep mode, based on a setup screen number 5, which I'm going to cover next, it will calculate whether it's going to do 20 frequencies, 100 frequencies, 1,000 frequencies. It will calculate it automatically and equally divide from 500 hertz. It'll take the difference, 500 hertz, it'll subtract it from 34.922 kilohertz, come up with a number and says, I'm going to divide that by a number, and it's going to be based on the time that I'm going to go into in a few seconds. And it's going to say, hey, I'm going to give you 1,000 frequencies, and this is the increment. And when you run the sweep, it will sweep through all the frequencies that it's calculated, and then it'll stop. Sweep does not recycle forever. It does a sweep one time, and you have to restart the sweep manually if you want to sweep again. Let's go to screen 5, because I keep bringing up screen 5. I've got to make it clear. I've flipped to it a few times. You've watched me flash to it a couple of times. I'm going to switch to screen 5. We're at 10 minutes and 29. We're going to be in 11 minutes in a few minutes. Can I do that now? Yeah, I think I can. I'm going to just step back. I'm going to go setup equals 1, setup equals 2, setup equals 3, setup equals 4 because we're in mode, sweep mode, and setup equals 5. Okay, finally stop there. You notice in this particular example, I have frequency equals 5, and I have program time equals 120. It's written up in the PDFs, making it very clear. I apologize for the focus not staying in that well. It's just not going to be, it's going to be difficult. C'est la vie. Life is not always easy. Oops. Okay, well, there it is. It's a little bit better in focus. Frequency time is always in seconds. So there's 4 places that you can dial numbers in. So you can go up to 900. How about, yeah, 1 less than 10,000. You can go 1. Nope. You can go to 1,000. You can go to 1 less than 10,000. I said that right the first time. 1 less than 10,000. So you can go to 9,999 seconds. And so if you want to calculate what that works out to, it's a few hours, just divided by 60. If you want to follow the spooky, typical 180-second protocol, let's do it. Let's move the cursor to, I just moved it to the second digit. I am so sorry that we can't get good focus on this all the time. Now moved it to the second digit of the 4 possible digits, and I'm going to dial in 1. Press a button. I'm going to dial in 8. Press a button. I'm going to dial in 0. And now I have 180 in there. And so that means I'm going to run each one of those frequency memory groups. I'm going to run it for 180 seconds, 3 minutes. I'm going to step forward. Now I'm in the first digit of the program time. Program time is always in minutes. So 120 minutes means it's going to run for 2 hours. So just divided by 60. Pretty straightforward. And I can run for 9,999 minutes. And that's a long time, like 16 hours or something like that. But there's something very special about program time. And I'm going to dial it down. I'm going to step it into the 1. I'll make that a 0. Dial it down. Take the 2 and make that a 0. And now I have a program time of 0, 0, 0, 0. Now that sounds pretty silly and stupid. Why would you have a program time of 0 so that you're not going to run anything? You press the start button and it's just going to stop. Well, not really. 0, 0, 0 automatically turns on the half-minute program time inside the software. It does that for 2 reasons. One is that when I was setting up different protocols and I wanted to test them, I didn't want to have to watch for a whole minute, go through all the protocols or all the frequencies. And I even thought 30 seconds was too long. But I said, you know what? 30 seconds to check things out and watch it flash through the different frequencies is much better than watching for a minute. So I made 0, 0, 0, 0 equal to 30 seconds. Doesn't say it, because I would have had to have another position on the screen to represent a fraction of a second, a half a second, or a half a minute rather. I meant to say half a minute, not seconds. It represents 30 seconds, a half a minute. And I said, no, I don't have to do that. I could just write that little small piece of information up in the documentation, show it in the video, and voila. Now I could run this I could start the frequency we're at 15 minutes. I could run this for, with a program for where it's at now, and you'll notice that it will stop at 30. It will stop at 30 seconds, and I think we'll do that in the next video. So we're going to stop, and I think we've done 3 videos so far. I'm going to stop, and we'll start up again with video 4.